Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting session with me from Sigma PM Consulting. Um, we have regular sessions on normally on project management, but today we're gonna be discussing information technology topic. We all use internet. This is the age of information technology. So we live in an information age, and we use internet daily basis and social media internet. But have you ever wondered what happens behind everything that we are only limited to computer, so like laptop or your desktop, your screen, you type something, and some information you request, or browse your internet, and what happens behind everything, actually beyond your computer, what happens? So what are the steps, what are the players behind all this, providing you what you need? So we're gonna be talking about those players that are working in the background. Those are web server, application server, and database server, the three pillars of internet technology, right? So I will be explaining you in a very simple, plain English, so that everybody can understand what it is. First of all, I'm gonna um, clarify a few terms actually that you normally use every day, but you may not know what they stand for. So HTTP, if you have seen your web address, it starts with HTTP. What does it mean? HTTP. HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. It's Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Sometimes you see that there is a S behind it, HTTPS. S means secure. If website is secure, then it's HTTPS. So when you see some web pages say HTTPS, that means that they have good security provisions there. And then we also use the word called URL. URL. So URL stands for Uniform Resource Locator. Uniform Resource Locator. Another word we use is HTML quite often. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Hypertext Markup Language. Now let's talk about these servers actually. So web application and database servers are the core components in the architecture of modern web applications. Each serves a distinct purpose and works in conjunction with the other whose client. Um, Client request initiates from laptop. So when we type our web address, HTTP or HTTPS colon forward slash and the address www something. What happens is that so we enter the URL in the browser, and that request goes to web server. So if you see this, this is your computer here. You type, and then HTTP request goes to web server. The web server is a computer that handles all the HTTP requests coming from the client, from you. Okay. And what happens is if the requested information is static, that means it doesn't require further processing or further querying. Something is like available ready there with the web server. Then it delivers back to the requesting client. So when we say the static information, that is if something can be processed using JavaScript or HTML, CSS, like cascading style sheets. There are different ways to process information locally on the web server. If something is there, it will provide it and done. Okay, if it's a simple request. So some requests may require further interrogation of database, means it may require, it may, the request may be for some complicated or some custom data based on some specialized custom request. So that if for that case, in that case, there is another server to help with that. That is called application server. So application server is a interface between web server and database server, right? So the job of application server is to understand what kind of request is coming and what kind of custom request is there, and then it launches the appropriate query to the database, and database provides that information, requested information. The database process understands the queries. There is a special language called SQL, structured query language, and database understands that and provides what the data that's needed. So the dynamic data, basically dynamic content, means like it's based on, dynamic means like it's custom request. It is not like a static, means something is already there, something that can be readily provided to the requesting customer. But others require some processing, some fetching the data, and processing in a certain manner using the web logic. And that's the job of application server, to 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 send the query to the database and receive the data requested, and then processes the data received from the database using the web logic on that, and send it back to web server, and web server further sends the response back to the requesting client. Okay, so examples of that. So examples of web server. What happens in a web server? Web server it could be in a technical language is Apache HTTP server, or it could be Microsoft IIS. Okay, Apache, Microsoft IIS. Basically, these are the technologies that are used on web server. Okay, there is something called daemon. We call daemon in computer language called daemon, DAEMON. Is that program is running constantly on that web server, and looking, basically that's constantly running in the background and looking for some requests from the client. As soon as the request comes, it knows how to process it, and now it figures out whether it's a request for something that can be fulfilled from the web server itself, static request or simple request. If it requires further processing, then it decides, okay, what to do next. Is it needs to go seek help from the application server. So then he sends that request further to application server, and then application server starts working on that. And the example of application server is like in a technical language again, because that's what the technologies that are used in the industry. Apache Tomcat. Apache Tomcat, Microsoft .NET, and or Oracle Web Logic. These are some examples of technologies that are used on application servers. Similarly, for there are multiple technologies. Like this is one is called MySQL, MySQL. This is based on open source code, open source that can be configured using the free I mean uh, uh, that is open source database that's available for everybody to use. And then there is Microsoft SQL, which you have to pay to get it. Microsoft has their own. SQL stands for Structured Query Language, and then Oracle database is also there. Oracle database. Have they all use SQL. We call SQL SQL. There's some variations in the syntax, but more or less is similar. The job, the kind of operations that are performed on database are the high level operations. They are created something, create table, create database, delete it, update it, read it. So CRUD is called create, read, update, and delete. Those are the kind of key operations. There are so the database is um, what it does is it keeps the data. It could be user data in a structured format. It has some, like, it knows the format of the data, the field length, what type of data it is, how that need to be stored. So there are unique tables in the database, so we store data, various types of data. For example, it could be social security information, could be hospital medical records, could be school records, of the of employees or of students. So basically, it's all data, various types of data. It could be payroll related, it could be invoice related, it could be some sales related, could be some marketing campaigns related. It depends actually what kind of data is stored there. So that's a database. So now to simplify this, I'm gonna use an example actually of a pizza ordering, so that if people who do not know the technical language, actually uh, they can easily relate to this, what it is. So think about this. And that web server is a receptionist, and you have to order pizza. So like laptop client, this is you want to order pizza. So what do? You go to web server, the receptionist, say, hey, I need a pizza. Sometime they have pizza by slice, or ready to go pizza they already have sitting there, and they can just if you need that pizza, they can give you that, and you're done. Or if you simply need to see the menu of the kind of pizzas they're making, and you request that, they'll give you the menu, say, hey, okay, take a look at it. So if anything is basically, this is called static request for static content, which static means is something already there on web server. So if the receptionist, or the we call web server, has already that information that you're looking for, or the food you're looking for, then that will be given to you. Okay, and process stops there. However, if you want to order custom pizza with custom toppings, and maybe half of this, half of other type, half veggie, half meat, then that requires actually further processing. In that case, what happens is uh, the receptionist hands the request to chef, right? The chef is application server. Chef is application server. So it's a request for dynamic content, means a request for custom pizza. Okay. So application server is a chef. So what happens with the chef? Chef needs to know how to interpret that request, and how to uh, cook that pizza. First of all, it also need to the chef also need to see if he or she has all the ingredients in the inventory. Okay, so it looks in the pantry, looks that person will look into the storage pantry to see if everything requested is there, and also looks into the recipe book, how to cook it, right? So 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 the database server actually provides that information about all the ingredients, how many are there, what is the stock available at hand. Maybe there is a request for 100 pizzas, right? So chef will look into that, actually see if he or she has enough ingredients to serve. So where we look for a database is like a pantry or storage, where a chef can look into, and also how to do that kind of information. That is a web, that we call a web logic. Web logic that uses, okay, how to do something, right? How to do something. So how to cook it, and that logic is there on application server. So what happens is, when say everything is there, and it finds everything in the storage and in the pantry, and cooks the pizza to the custom order, and or in other words, a dynamic content provides, sends back to web server receptionist, and receptionist like a service to the client, you. So similarly, if it's an internet query, then the requested information is passed on to the requesting client, that is your computer. So I hope this discussion actually was simple enough for you to understand how these different players work in the background when you use internet. If you liked it, or if you have any comments, if you have any feedback, please do provide me that in your comments. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so, because um, you will be subscribing to like a really great information in the area of project management and information technology. So stay connected, and more to come. And let's discuss all the great topics. If you have special request for me to cover some topic, please mention in your comments. All the best. I see you in another session. So thank you so much.